Greetings, this is Brother Eric with the Justice Coalition, Revolutionary Unionism, Organizing and Education session. And we are going to jump right into our history lesson. Share the screen with you in a moment. Agenda. And you should see the meeting agenda screen here. And the purpose of our meetings are to help inspire co-workers that are, there goes my button. Got this bus and rail united button right here, and it just fell off my hat. So the purpose of this meeting is to inspire co-workers to make the union strong and militant, and we are very much anti-business unionism in the Justice Coalition, and the definition for that is in our agenda, the complete definition. What is revolutionary unionism? It is, this term is inspired from the industrial workers of the world, the one big union as they're known. It is to take power from our employer and the politicians through direct action at work and democratically control our unions. By doing so, we can dismantle the quote service and transactional model of business unionism, which has neutralized our power for over 50 years. Special thanks to organizer Brother Cody Mazzarella for allowing us to use this premium account. And let's get jumping right to the history lesson. History is so important. The year was 1941. That was the day Indiana State Police began cracking heads of picketers in front of the Richmond International Harvester Plant. The Farm Equipment Workers Organizing Committee, or FEWOC, called a strike at 6 Midwestern plants earlier in the year. 14,000 workers walked out, demanding an elimination of piecework, wage increases, re-employment guarantees for draftees, and union recognition. Lucy Parsons addressed the strikers in Chicago. She reminded them of her husband's frame-up and murder in 1886. She added that the McCormicks and the International Harvester had continued their unending war against labor for over 50 years. In Richmond, workers voted 5-1 for a strike. By March 27, harvester officials planned to reopen the plant with members of the independent union. FEWOC battled these so-called unions at all the plants. They were the rehashed old company unions that the National Labor Relations Board had ordered disbanded. Reports varied widely as to the number of workers ready to betray the strike at the Richmond plant. When they marched toward the gate that morning, strikers closed ranks and sang "Solidarity Forever." The battle began as strikers, armed with bricks and bats, fought police to prevent the scabbing. More than 80 strikers were arrested on charges ranging from assault and battery to attempted murder. The state police and Richmond officers then raided strike headquarters and downtown CIO offices. Records and correspondence were seized and furniture demolished. FEWOC leader Cliff Kerr avowed, "They're not going to get away with this tribunal, with this brutal, undemocratic attack on the workers. The union intends to fight The combined efforts of the city, the police, and the harvester companies are not going to break this strike. All right, does anybody have any comments, inspiration from this particular history? Can speak up or send in a chat message. You know, I find these little bits of history very interesting because they don't tell you everything. And it requires you to do some research on your own to get more of the story. But it's just enough to get you interested. How do these things work, right? And people are always being attacked, people sometimes being killed. What are you willing to sacrifice to maintain a good quality of life, or fight for a better quality of life at work? If we are not willing to sacrifice anything, then we will lose everything. And that's what these kind of lessons show. Strikers are not about leaders and people you elect who make you promises. Strikes are about what the workers want and how the workers organize and speak up. A lot of our union leadership tells us we all have to be on one accord. Well, that's not how unions become strong. Unions become strong because the workers speak up and they organize, and then they begin to find common ground with each other. So all their different groups start moving in similar directions. Because when they tell you, you all have to be on one accord, must have obedience and control, we must have unity, what they really mean is conformity. And it's a big difference between the two. Look it up. All right, let's do the lesson. So also in the agenda, we have that. Here it is. In the agenda, we have a link for that. Just past the history right there. So if that's something you want to look at more closely, just go right in the agenda. And of course, every agenda for every meeting is on the website, chicagotransitworker.com. In fact, let's just go there right now. We got Brother Charles Minor, Sister Janice here. ChicagoTransitWorker.com. Come on, welcome and good morning to both of you. And those of you who are watching the recording. This is being recorded, by the way. So when you go to ChicagoTransitWorker.com, you scroll down to Union Reformation, because that's what we're doing. We're trying to reform our union. It's weak and corrupt. It's a business union. It's a company union. ATU Chicago is losing members. They're not paying dues. They're so mad. We're trying to organize the members, those who have stopped paying dues, those that are paying dues. What really matters is that we unite and work together. Click on Justice Coalition virtual meetings. And you scroll down and you have in-person meetings, register for meeting notices, and there's all the agenda. All right. So let's get right into the history. The organizing lesson. Oh, we got Sister Nicole let you in here. All righty. So last week sorry, let me just move my window here a little bit. Last week we dealt with this section about your legal rights to organize. Very important. So if you're just starting to participate in our sessions, be sure you go back a little bit. We're going to continue about concerted activity on page 27. So there are protected concerted activities that you have as a worker, especially as a union worker, whether you are paying dues or not. You are inside of that realm. This includes filing grievances, complaining about contract violations, and you'll see us do that. We do some pop-up flash protests every once in a while about the contract and issues and violations of the contract, holding rank and file meetings. And that's what we're doing now. This is a rank and file meeting. This is not a local 308, local 241 meeting. I'm a steward in local 308. And they hate when I do stuff and participate in stuff like this, the officers, but it's protected activity. They can't do anything about it. And when you participate, it is your right to do this. Visiting the boss in a group on non-work time. So look, if we're at lunch and we're talking about, hey man, you know, such and such is happening, you know, we got this chemical spill right here, or we got these broken chairs or whatever. We got 5 minutes left on our break, or when we're in between our runs, we have our lunches. Let's go talk with the manager about getting it fixed. Just little stuff like, oh, you go. No. We go. That's what I always tell my coworkers. They're like, yeah, let's you go tell the manager, you go ask. And I said, no, let's go. You and me go. Okay. Petitioning, wearing buttons. You know, you can wear a button. It says something about what you believe in. These are little ways to pressure, little protests. We're wearing a Band-Aid to show solidarity with injured coworkers, right? You know, these kinds of things put pressure. Is this going to get us full-time jobs? They love to say, hey, you ain't never going to get full-time jobs for all just picketing. Of course not, dummy. You know, it's all part of concerted activity, putting pressure on your employer. And your union leadership should support this. They shouldn't be against it. And if they are, do it anyways. Management or union officials may not harass you by spying on you or interrogating you about your rank and file meetings or other protected activities. Neither your employer nor your union may lawfully discipline you for exercising your rights. Okay, so they call the cops on you. They did that with our sister Cheryl and myself and brother Andre when she was at the local 308 barbecue, exercising her rights to talk about working conditions at the barbecue. They were outside of the law when they did that. When you go in a break room and talk to coworkers about issues and you pass out flyers, if the union steward or the representative calls the manager to say, hey, kick them out of here, that is unlawful activity. Bargaining and strikes. We'll talk about that. We'll continue with that next week because that kind of continues into the next page. But what if I work in the public sector? And that's us. This book that you're looking at is heavily based on NLRA, National Labor Relations Act, which covers private industries. So you have the public sector, which are covered by states. So ours is covered by the Illinois Public Labor Relations Act. So if you work for the government, you're not covered by the NLRA unless you're a postal service employee. But most public employees are covered by federal or state laws modeled on the NLRA. You can find the law for your federal employees at this website here. But if you go to chicagotransitworker.com and the main page, I'll show you here. Click on this little thing that says know your rights. It says know your rights There's a button for it here too that's a little bigger in case you have fat thumbs like me. And all you got to do is scroll down. We have all kinds of things on here to know your rights. We got a whole bunch of stuff. But there it is, Illinois labor law, and you click on that and it will take you to the whole Public Labor Relations Act. It's a very long law, but it's really good to know, especially Section 17. Won't spoil that for you. Government workers also have free speech protections under the First Amendment if they are speaking about matters of public concern. That's in addition to any union contract protections. So any questions, any comments about what I just read? Anyone have any experience that they'd like to share that's related to this lesson? Okay. So let's get going with the rest of the meeting. Let's do some introductions here. We got a new, not so new, but got a few people. I'm Eric Bazir. I'm a local 308 union steward, rail car repairman, out of Howard Shop. Nicole.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me stop muting myself. I am unmuted. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nicole Williams. I'm a bus operator at 103rd.
Wonderful. All right, Brother Charles. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Charles Miner. I'm a pool supervisor for the bus side of CTA.
Oh, sweet. We got a bus supervisor on. Excellent. And
wait, Eric, and I just want to add, and he's a good person. He's not like the rest of them. He's a great person. He's very knowledgeable. And I think he'll bring a lot to this group. I invited him. He's a good friend of mine as well.
Well, yeah, I got nothing against they're in our union. So bus and rail supervisors.
Might feel, oh, well, other people don't know him. So I want to give him that advice that he's a good guy. He's not, like the rest of them.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Brother Charles, if you would be so kind as after the meeting, register yourself for notices for the meeting so that you never miss a meeting session or recording, because we record these meetings and then later on you can view them. Okay.
All right.
Wonderful. And then we have Willette. Willette, you feel free to introduce yourself. You might be, this sometimes we have problems with the buttons here. And she might
tell her to go down, unmute herself. Tell her to unmute her.
Are you muted? Let's see. I don't think she's got her audio connected. So we'll just, I think Willette's probably doing something. Maybe she's grocery shopping. Janice, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning. I'm Janice Brown, CSA, out of Forest Park now. Been with the company for 8 years, very unhappy. I just helped Willette get on to the Zoom, but she might not know how to unmute herself. So let her know, Willette, go down to the bottom and hit the unmute button and you should be in. Bye. And that's it.
Thanks for your help. I think Willette's got her audio connected now.
Wonderful.
Yes, I do.
Can you introduce yourself, Willette, please?
Good morning, Willette Lucas, and I'm finally in. Thanks to Jan.
Thanks, Jan. Okay, all right. So let's go right here to the next item. This is being recorded, okay? Does anyone have a problem with that? Just asking again. If you want to speak about something you don't want recorded, just say, hey, pause the recording, okay? And I'll pause the recording. No problem. No problem. Anything on the next in-person meeting? Anybody have anything they want to say about that? I don't know, you know, with this Delta variant and everything, are we just doomed to just be virtual?
I was gonna say, Eric, I think like, I don't know if that's really gonna be able to take place, because that, you know, I think they're gonna start shutting stuff down again, not sure, but.
Okay.
But we can schedule one. I think they have you wearing masks. I'm sorry, I just stuck my hand, guys. We can schedule one tentatively, and I think you have to wear a mask inside, so we can tentatively schedule one. But if you know they shut things down, we'll just have to reschedule it.
Right. Does anyone have any want to do anything? Does anyone want to schedule one?
But you know, Eric, I'll put together one. I'll work on it.
Oh, okay.
I'll take the task.
Thank you.
How about finding a place that we can be outdoors while it's still warm outside? And then that the mask thing shouldn't be a problem if we're outside.
Right.
I like that. Anybody else have a comment about that?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Anyone object to that? I mean, no problem. Okay, cool. Well, Nicole, and anyone who wants to work with Nicole to help make that happen, please connect with her, okay? Next, retiree healthcare trust lawsuit. So unfortunately, Brother Steve is not on this meeting. I did reach out to him. I'm just gonna there's some little changes because he's been doing some research, and I've been in touch with his lawyer. His lawyer's been in touch with others. So it's something he's still working on. He's still developing it. So just wanted to share that, and that's all about just getting rid of the damn thing. Because as it stands, as of January 1st, the law is going to change for the retiree healthcare trust so that your deduction can be no less than 1% as opposed to no less than 3%. The controversy in that is it's no less than. There's nothing that says no higher than. So we're told, yeah, no problem. It's going to come down to 1%, but that's not exactly what it says. It just says no less. So we've been at the no less at 3%, right? Since the beginning. So it is
Right.
overfunded, right? But it's still, any questions about that? Any comments? Okay, so local 308 Steward class report.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Eric,
Go ahead.
before you go on from the RHCT, did you know that we don't get that? And they've told us from the beginning of time that once you leave CTA, you know, you can get that. You know, that's your money. As far as CSAs go, they tell you that you can get it once you leave. But they left out the fact you would have to leave, and it's only medically, you know, that you can get that money. You do not get it in a lump sum or in your pocket. And then I found out further that you can only get it with 20 years of service.
Exactly. Isn't that wonderful?
I tell you, the lies they tell. And it should be something, that's what we should also work on as far as fighting against, because you're just arbitrarily taking my money. We had no say on it. When you come in, two things we didn't have a say on when you come into CTA. The RHCT trust, you had no say on that. They're taking your money if you're an employee. Okay, the union, you didn't have a choice. They said if you don't stand on the dotted line, you will not be working for CTA. When they came to talk to us, those are the things. So naturally, you coming in, you're coming to work So you're signing. And those are two things that should not have happened, and they are still happening. And we are still enslaved with our working procedures. This is terrible.
And this does tie into the Steward class report because Calvin Tillery, our lobbyist, our 308 lobbyist, I think Keith Hill, the 241 president, is kind of like the 241 lobbyist because he was doing that. He was part of making that happen before he became president, the 241. But I had to actually correct him on something. We had a one-on-one discussion during lunch, and I was telling him, what you were saying, Willette, is union leadership made this decision on our behalf, but without our democratic not debating it, knowledge, or approval. He says, well, it had to happen because of the deficit with the pension. It was being it was going into a deficit because of that free healthcare cost. I'm like, fine, but you have to inform the members and let the members decide what they want to do, because if they don't want it, the majority don't want it, you can't sign off on it, because that's, you just can't. And I said,
Right.
you have it. And he says, yeah, but you're still going to get it. I said, brother, what about the part-timers? And see, that's the thing. Whenever they talk about pension, whenever they talk about healthcare trust, it's like the part-timers don't exist. It's so frustrating. And he told me, you know what he told me? He said, well, they can get it. I said, when? When can they get it? I was quizzing him. I knew what it was. He said, in 10 years. I said, no, brother. It's not 10 years. It's 20. He said, no. No, you're thinking that's if you're retired. I said, no, it's on the, where'd you get that from? I got it from the website. And it's sad. I mean, and then they complain that the pension is underfunded, right? So I mentioned at the Steward meeting, I said, so don't you think that that if we have all full-time workers, a full-time force, they'll all be paying into this pension? Without that, we could even get rid of that 1 year no pension contribution thing too, and that'll fatten it up. And he says, oh yeah, exactly. I said, so he said that the problem is the CTA is not gonna just go along with it. I said, well, right, that's why unions strike. And then they, you should have heard the room. You should have heard the room, y'all. It was like,
I'm sure.
It was like, that's the last thing you want to do. I mean, it was crazy. And everyone's laughing at, oh, shut up, Eric. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, y'all a bunch of idiots.
Eric, I'd like to make a comment. This is Janice again.
Please, come on, Janice.
That's the reason why they got rid of Securitized. They could not take union dues from Securitized. They could not take HCR Trust from Securitized. So it was a win-win for CTA and for them to get the HCR Trust out of their employees, which are the part-time CSAs. They brought in, was it 1,000 at that time? And then the union dues at that time, I think, was $68. So the union fees for the union. So everybody won as far as the company or the agency and the union, but the CSAs are just cash cows. That's all we are. We don't have vacation. We don't have sick time. We don't get any benefits. We have medical, but when you pay it into it, you got to pay a deductible. You have to spend so much before you can even, they start taking a deductible out of. So it's horrible. It's terrible. And I don't understand how Kelly, Dixon, and whoever else did not put mechanisms in to protect the CSAs.
Yeah.
Because they didn't care.
Go ahead, Charles or Andre.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, go ahead.
I said because they didn't care. They didn't care about what they was doing, just like these officers don't care about the membership. I mean, not only did the CRSAs lost what they lost, the membership continue to lose things that they are losing. And then when they do these things, these union officials don't care. They're getting paid good money and they're getting perks from the company. So, you know, the members got to stop thinking that these people care about them. When they showing you, they don't. Zebras don't change their stripes.
Well, I got something I like to say. Since it was done the way it was done, do you think that we probably, because the members never voted on it, and I know it's already into law, but couldn't we raise that issue of trying to get it overturned, or could we not?
Man, I wish I could speak on what Brother Stephen is working on.
Oh, I mean, I know about that, but I'm just saying.
No,
yeah,
but
I mean, do you think it's even an idea, a reality that could be overturned just on the grounds that the members didn't vote on it, and they, you know, because we supposed to vote on everything.
Very possibly. I think everything's possible. That's just the kind of.
Right. I was just. We don't have to elaborate on the whole lot, but you know.
But the big issue though, still, is the pension. Because look at what we're paying, right? So right now, they gave it to us in the Steward class because they gave us all this information so we could help inform members. And the breakdown for the way it is now is really pathetic. And here, I just to let you know right now, because see, if we get people in the pension, we got to get people in the pension. Dang it, I had the chart right here. Then we can take care of the pension gap, because once you're full-time, that pension is a huge hit on your check. So right now we're at 12%, right? Full-time.
Yeah, it's gonna go up.
Right, and it's gonna go up. So 12% versus the 1% or the 3% of the healthcare trust is substantial. But when you're a part-timer, that 3% is terrible. So what they're doing, they're gonna give us this 1% in January to calm down the part-timers, to pacify the part-timers, right? So that they don't make so much noise about going full-time. And then listen to this. The CTA's contribution to the pension is 24%. But it's actually 18%, because 6% of that is credited to pay off the retiree healthcare trust bond, which is to expire in the year 2035. So we cannot afford to keep playing with the retiree healthcare trust game.
But Eric,
we have to focus on getting full-time jobs for all. We got to get these full-time jobs for all. This is what my opinion is. Go ahead, Nicole.
but is it right now the reason why we got the decrease because the HCT trust is overfunded right now today?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So yeah, I just was wondering about that. Okay, that's to make sure.
Look, it's overfunded, and they stealing so much money. It's so good to them. It looked like that, so they had to come on. Say we got to get some of this money back because we just getting over like a big dog.
It is theft. It ain't no look like that. It is theft.
I know, but it looks. It was always theft, but now it looks real bad because if they don't stop the funding. Overfunded, it's gonna go over to 200%. It's just gonna look terrible. So I guess they figure we gotta slow this stealing down.
Right. Let's pretend we're giving them something. It's our money. You've been taking it all the time.
Let me ask you guys something. So in the workers' contract, and for those of you who are watching, I really encourage you to go to chicagotransitworker.com and click on a button that right near the top that says workers contract. This is an unofficial contract, but it is the damn good contract because members are making it and it's public. There's no secrets. We're making it easy for people to read. Take a look at this. We talked about how Securitas, which opened the floodgates for part-time jobs on the rail and the bus side. Dang it, where did it go? Okay, here it is. Hang on. So Article 2.7 deals with subcontracting in our contract. You can see it on the screen. We really take a hatchet to this article. Everything in red is new. Everything that's stricken through, we're getting rid of. Okay, and basically we limit the ability for the CTA to subcontract in this language. One of the things we put in there, some of the things that we put in there regarding subcontractors that are relating to Securitas is that bargaining unit members will not train the subcontractors. So we cannot train them on directions, Ventra machines, anything. We can't train them on anything they do. Our instructors can't. And then if they work more than 3 months, they have to be hired as full-time bargain for employees. And while they work, the subcontractors, they must pay dues to the union for the duration of their assignment. What do y'all think of that?
Sounds absolutely great to me.
Sound good to me.
Sound good to me.
Okay, all right,
I think it's excellent.
okay. Just curious because it was relevant, right? Because we got to be proactive, right? Our contract is about not only our jobs, but our children and our community. There's another thing that we're working on, and that is, I'll get to it at another time, but it is what happens if the CTA is privatized? What happens to the contract? Is there anything in the contract that protects our jobs? No, nothing. We can hope, right?
Good. Been hoping our whole careers, Eric. I don't think it's working.
No, it ain't, is it? We could have a secret meeting with the vice president of such and such at the CTA, right? But it ain't gonna do nothing, right? What if they decide to privatize rail maintenance to one company, bus maintenance to another company, right? Transportation and all the operations to different companies. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Or corporations, right? So
Yeah.
there's nothing in the contract. So that's another thing we're putting in there. But I wanted to, do y'all mind if I go to the quick, I'll be brief about the stewards class, okay?
Go ahead.
If you object, please say something and say you wanted to talk about something else, but I promise to get to you regardless. Okay, so overall, the steward class was a refresher class. It was basically for people that were already in it. They say I was a steward already, but I never finished the class. I was like a dropout because I had to go to work, but they let me in after blocking me from going to the first one. And basically, we got this big, thick notebook from the vice president, Mark Weems. And Mark Weems, the vice president, basically, he ran it. It was his baby. And I was impressed. It was good. I would say 50% of what we were given was solid, good information about the contract, how we can help coworkers navigate questions about the contract, retiree healthcare trust, the bylaws. But 50% of it was poison, I'm sorry to say. And I disagreed. I told Brother Mark, he said, how'd you like the class? I said, I liked it, but there's some things I disagree with. And he says, that's fine, I understand. But it wasn't necessarily him. It was the people he had there speaking. And the lawyer, Anita Tanai, began to lament about the Janus law and the right to work states and how unions are losing ground. But then she kept talking, then she finished it quoting this horrible union president of Ask Me. They're a, the municipal employees union. And she talked about God, this was awful. She quoted him. He said, the difference between the union and the company, the union worker and a non-union worker, is that we elect our own boss. And I was just floored by that, because we don't elect the boss. There's nothing, even in the ATU, as corrupt as it is, in the ATU Constitution, about electing a boss. And there's nothing in there about electing people to speak on your behalf. They had us read the preamble, and the preamble is clear that it says all members must be involved in the discussion and the fighting for our welfare, essentially. We're the boss. We don't elect the boss. And so a lot of the other people that would speak, there were officers there too. And they kept talking about, we have to be in one accord and not follow people on Facebook and Facebook Live, don't watch Facebook Live. And we know what they're talking about. They're talking about you and me and Sister Cheryl and others who get on the internet and interact with each other and share information.
But it's okay. I don't mean to cut you up. It's okay for the local two presidents to go on Facebook Live and conduct meetings, but they don't want you following Facebook. So why is the bigger union, the big brother, hosting those type of things? That's like a contradiction.
Right.
I mean,
and that's what they kept saying. They kept emphasizing that you should only give information from the union office. And I kept thinking, we don't get information. And when we ask for information, we're like, I'll get back to you later, or here's a little bit, and it's like, it's just ridiculous. It's all about control. It's about conformity. And even as a steward, it's like, I'm not going to handle any discipline cases, any punishment. You know what I mean? I know it's evident. You know what I mean? It's like they complain that the executive board is overworked, but they keep it that way because they just want followers, basically, And it was a good class, but at the same time, like I said, there was some poison. I wanted to talk about the Calvin Tillery and this other brother, these old timers, these retirees. And I got no problem with retirees, but particular retirees I have a problem with. And he said, this man said, you are hearing this, told us, this brother, he used to be a vice president, I think. See if I get it, of local 308. Make sure you guys mute yourself. Mute yourself. All right, I'm gonna mute. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get through this, all right? I'm sorry it's taking so long. He said, you're here to just listen. Don't ask questions. We're giving you information. And right away, I'm like, damn, okay, I get it. Because I ask a lot of questions. I'm annoying. I'm a pest because I do that. Now, I'm not trying to be a pest. I'm just annoying. I know I annoy people, but I just want to know. And when they say stuff that isn't true, I let them know. I'm not interrupting. It's just like, I just ask and then they call on me. But here's what made me so sick is you could tell when Eric Dixon and these other people get upset. And Mark Weems kept his cool the whole time. Personally, I just can't really say anything to criticize him. I disagree, but Mark Weems, not Mark Weems. Hang on, I got it. So not Mark Weems. This retiree was talking about how we got to have relationships with management. You as a steward, as an officer, got to have relationships with management. And even Mark Weems said that. A lot of the speakers said that, you know, and it's like, but what about us? What about the relationships with us, the members, right? But their relationships with management are more important. Their relationships with politicians are more important. One of them even said, and she was a former board member, she said, if Eric Dixon is going to go golfing with Dorvell Carter, he better go do it. Okay, so what? He's going to go golfing with the president of the CTA. Really? Okay, why would you even do that? I mean, you should bring us with. The union leadership should not be meeting with these people who are responsible for our death during this pandemic, the attacks and the assaults, without us. They shouldn't be. It's criminal. We should be speaking. And if they don't want to meet with us, then the president of our union, the leadership, shouldn't be meeting with us. This is what I was thinking. And I said it in a way. Anyways, then they began to talk about how relationships, if you don't have relationships, the CTA, the employer is going to punish you. And they talked about how basically Bob Kelly told the CTA presidents to kiss his butt. And then right away, the CTA president was like, fine, accelerated discipline for everyone. And I'm thinking, okay, fine, that's what they want to do. Well, then you fight back, right? But no, they just took it. And then Eric Dixon began to say, it doesn't work. You know, it doesn't work to not have relationships. You got to have what? So we're going to kiss their butts? And then he and others, and they brought it up again, you got to understand it. Everybody got their own opinions. All the members have their own opinions. And no one will ever agree on anything. I mentioned to him, I raised my hand, I said, brother, this is a democracy, it's a union. You can gather the members together using modern technology even, have them debate the issues, inform each other on the issues, then democratically decide what they want to do. You know what he said to me? And Dixon and all of them agreed. He said, democracy doesn't mean a thing nowadays. This is what a former Local 308 vice president said to our steward class. And everybody's just eating this manure, okay? I'm like, I think one of the repairmen next to me, he was like, ugh. You know, he kind of we looked at each other like, what the hell is it? And I said, that's outrageous. I said it out loud. And then they all, oh, shut up, Eric. I'll be quiet. Blah, 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 you know, and then he said, if you don't like what's going on, you got to run for office. I'm like, that's stupid, man. So suffer for 3 years because you think democracy doesn't work, and they hate it. I'm telling you. So I learned basically from that class, again, that business unionism is entrenched and we must destroy it at ATU Chicago. We must destroy it. This video is public. Everyone can see it, but they don't want to fight. They don't want to protest. They even mocked our protests. And they said, you'll never get full-time jobs. You'll never get full-time jobs picketing? Of course not. But you don't do nothing. I think I'm done. If anyone has any questions about the class, go ahead and ask me. I'm going to stop. We got Brother Andre with his hand up here. Come on, brother, go ahead.
My question to you, as you was in the class getting educated, how does that work when you in a class full of people that's teaching a class that don't have the best interest of the union membership as a union? How does that work?
It is absolutely frustrating. I needed to get this certificate because of the
Okay, so
legal
basically,
protections. And I was there for that. And that's why I was.
you said you was getting to certificate for protection, right? That what you just said?
Yeah, for legal
Okay.
status.
But basically, with or without the certificate, you are who you are, which is a member that believes in the standards of what a union should be and what it's supposed to be, and what these people ain't that's teaching the class, that's teaching you.
Yeah. And they want respect, Brother Andre and everybody else. They want obedience. That's what they kept talking about too. Another thing they kept talking about, they want you, don't let the members be belligerent. Don't let the members disrespect you. So I raised my hand. I said, so what about the leaders that are disrespectful and belligerent to the members?
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah, that too. But blah, 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 blah. Go ahead, Nicole.
Yeah, they're exempt. Well, I have a question for you, Eric, about this Steward class. So I want to just be clear because I don't know if it's the same on 308 and 241. So you took the Steward class. So because you took the Steward class, are you considered a union steward for local 308?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, because like on our end, on the bus side, we elect our, we have garage, because I know y'all got like garages too, like 95th and all that. So we elect our steward. So to bring that up, how important, in your opinion, is the union steward to the local?
By the way, it's because the bylaws are different regarding stewards with 241 and 308. That's all. But I believe they should be elected. But I believe the members should nominate these people. Our bylaws are really messed up. Okay, I think the union stewards. You asked, the union stewards are important, so I believe they're important.
I said, I'm sorry, not to cut you off. I said, how important? I know they're important. I mean, absolutely, they're important. I want to know, how important do you think they are to the local, to represent the members?
Okay,
I'm going somewhere with this.
From my observations, we are unimportant as stewards. We are underutilized. We are neglected and defanged. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So then I'm gonna go to my point. So it was interesting. I had a conversation with a union steward who is in the supervisor pool. Now check this out. The North Park has one, I don't know if she's a executive board member or if she's the steward. But however, we all know that Eric Slater was elected to that position. But of course, we know he got fired. And she brought to my attention, we had a nice, I want to tell you, I've never met somebody I had a
do you want this recorded? Do you want this recorded?
I don't care, yeah, it's public information.
Okay.
Yeah, I surely do. We don't have to not record it. This is a known fact, what I'm going to say.
Okay.
So we know that Eric Slater no longer works for the company, but Eric Slater is I don't know if he was a union executive board member or if he was a union steward.
Executive board.
Okay, so he's been fired, I think, almost over a year or maybe longer, right?
About 2 years.
No,
okay, about 2 years, and we haven't had a special election to cover. However, whatever it is, we haven't had a special election to cover his position. So to me, the members at North Park is getting the short end of the stick, and they don't demand anything.
Because his position is not eliminated.
Right? It doesn't matter. It's nobody representing them right now. It was brought to my attention that the vice president, Woodrow Elan, is handling that. How is that possible? And we're in contract negotiations. He got to handle vice president. And the current steward is in the supervisor pool. So you mean to tell me it's okay for North Park not to be represented? Now, it doesn't take a genius to know what they should do, and maybe they'll listen to this, and maybe they'll do it. But North Park members, they should not be sitting there not demanding representation because they're taking money out their check. They're taking arrearages out your check, but who's paying for the arrears of what are they going through without having representation? But here's a good idea. So we got the union steward in supervision class, and the members are supposed to wait for the vice president to come over and represent them. What kind of joke is this union doing? Also, it doesn't take a genius to know this. If we ain't gonna if we ain't gonna cover their spots with other union stewards so they can have fair representation against the CTA, this is how you know that they don't give a damn about the members. It don't take a genius to know this.
Yep.
If I was the president, if I had one executive board member that was fired, and I have one steward that's in the supervision pool, you know what I would do? I would look at my best two executive board members or my best two union stewards in the whole system, the local, and I would say, listen, I'm gonna take you off for union business, and instead of Tuesday and Thursday when we normally have hearings, I'm gonna hold North Park hearings on Mondays and Wednesdays. That's to cover the members. They don't give a damn about the members. See, everybody is popularity with their friends. They don't look about the business. Oh, well, Mr. Ealing is gonna come over. Mr. Ealing has a job. We're in contract negotiations. He should be doing vice president duties, not union steward duties. Who's representing y'all? They need to demand what their money is going to. I just had this conversation. But see, I don't have any friends. I'm like for the business part. So you think it's okay for the steward to be off in the here go the favors. The steward is off in the CTA supervisor pool, which is still a member of 241. You don't have an executive board member, and you leave the members unprotected. We can call down to the office, our friend, the president, our vice president, the recording secretary. We can do all that. But that's not covering the members because the members are still paying dues. How do we explain that? That's why I want to know, how important is a steward to the local? Because in my opinion, the stewards are just as important as the managers for CTA. You need them.
That's right.
Yeah. Can I say something? Well, this was should be taking place. Woodrow shouldn't be down there doing cases because he's a vice president.
Exactly.
And as far as the stewards and as far as both of those stewards being gone from North Park, it's easy to deal with that. It's an easy situation to deal with that. You can pick any steward, any executive board, because they only at the job one day. They're not there together. On Tuesday and Thursday, they're not there together. So you can flip-flop and send
Andre, you don't have either one there. You don't have a
I know, but I'm just saying, listen to what I'm saying though. You could take the steward from another garage, and I have done it. I represented people at 77 when I was executive board. For whatever reason, the steward wasn't there. I had to go over there and represent on the day that I didn't represent at 103rd. So they can do that. And I did it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, Andre,
before.
Andre, what I'm saying is they have nobody. So they take everybody else to shred paper.
They can deal with it if they wanted to. They don't want to. They don't, they not can. They just want to make sure. It's like campaigning for Woodrow, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Make him look like he's a superstar. And he have no business doing executive board work.
But anyway, it's not a fair representation to the members. The members should have somebody on the property at all times that they can go to. They shouldn't have to go to a steward that's in the pool supervisor class where she's focused on something else that she really, I don't know if she's a nice person. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to like badmouth her, but I'm badmouthing the officers.
Well,
what are you doing?
At North Park should stand up for their rights.
Exactly. They should stand up for their rights, but they too busy being cool. Oh, well, I got the vice president come over. That's not his job. Hold these officers accountable for their jobs. They taking your money out every month. Stop being their friends. Hold them accountable for their actions. They're saying you don't matter, in my opinion. Because if they don't put nobody there permanently, they're saying you don't matter. To me, that's why I said how important was the stewards. The stewards are so important, very important. The members should have a steward and executive board member on deck. They shouldn't have to call the vice president for help. That's what happens with the friendship relationship. No, where's the business side of the relationship? And as a member in good standing, yes, I said it. They're not doing their job. And everybody in North Park, you need to stand up and value your $72.
I agree with you.
Or the arrearages they want to take out your check for back dues. Is they gonna give you back representation?
It shouldn't be no arrears being taken out. Nobody's check without.
Andre, we can go on for 2 hours. We know that. We know that. We know that.
Yeah, you guys, how about we have a rally at North Park demanding?
Yeah, that's what we should do. That sounds good, Kathy. That's a great rally to have.
Yeah.
Right, that's the man representation for North Park. To show the members that we're not out for ourselves, we're also out for them.
Wait. That's the last thing you want to do. Hold on. Let's have a relationship.
Why?
Relationship with
He's being sarcastic.
Oh. It's like, why, Eric?
Yeah. And what else can we tie it in with something else? I mean, how come you haven't had a rally? I mean,
Well,
yeah.
me and Janice is working on the rally. We didn't get a chance to really come up one, but this will be a good one. Janice, what do you think about this?
So, Nicole, I'm all for whatever that's gonna better the union membership. So
No, we can put up
whatever.
signs for full-time jobs. We can put it all in one, Janice. This is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to stay on one agenda. We can put it in a couple of things, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Whatever benefits the membership, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's me, Janice. That's me too.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't mean to say how
What are
come
you
you
doing here? What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here.
well, I'm here, but hey, listen, I didn't mean to say how come you haven't had a rally. That's not what I meant to say. I meant to say how come the union hasn't had an election for a union steward at North Park?
Exactly. He's fired. It's an executive board member. They had a special election for the. They had a special election.
He's not fired from the union, his union duties. He just can't come on, and which don't make no sense because he's not even allowed on the property at CTA at North Park to represent.
Well, I don't know why he's not.
Because
he's at that time he come on the property. He works for local
CTA
241.
and the union want him. They don't want him out there like that. They don't want him on the property, so he can't come on the property.
But is that a law that he can't come on the property, Andre, or is it just something the union is doing? Because
He's a fired employee.
But he works for the local 241.
Yeah, but he can't come on the property. That's why he still can attend rally. He could go to the union office. He's at the executive board meeting every month. He can come to the meeting every month, but he can't come on that property.
Well, then they need to have a special election.
He can take phone calls from the members if they want to call him. He can do all that, but he can't come on that property.
He's no use to them if he can't be on the property.
No, he is not no use to them.
He's not no use to the members.
That's why he should have never got fired.
In my
opinion, helped him get fired.
In my opinion, everybody fight is their own fight. Now, I can't say if Brother Eric was correct in his fight or he's not correct in his fight, but I respect all members' fight against the CTA. Because at that point, he thought in his thought process, he thought he was doing the right thing. And I will never go against that.
Wait, Nicole.
Huh? Yeah.
He was Keith Hill conspired.
Eric, I know.
For
he made sure he never got fired.
For years to do this. This was perfect. Eric Slater did nothing wrong. I was working with him up to, during, and after the time he got fired. He did absolutely nothing illegal, against the rules. He got screwed.
Well, my point to that is Eric. My point to that is that I don't care if he did do something wrong. In his mind, he felt that was something he was passionate about. So he stood up for it. And he got fired. But then it's up to our officers to make sure the other members are taken care of.
Yeah.
In an instance.
So let's
he's still a member. He should be taken care of too.
If he wanted, that's another story. I'm gonna say I support the members. I support the members. That's what I'll say.
Right, but I think that we definitely need to deal with this case with Brother Eric, and have him with us to discuss what's going on with his life, because he really got screwed over. But
that's what they do. That's my point.
Yeah.
Again, that's my point. The union will let you get screwed over.
And they trying to screw me over.
They're not gonna screw you, Andre.
I'm just not letting them. They trying.
Exactly. You gotta stand up for your rights.
And that's the thing, y'all. And that's the thing we should learn. Brother Eric Slater operates in a way that can, bring him into trouble, and that he doesn't need to deal with. And that's okay. That's everybody's different. But me and Andre, we operate a little differently. Nicole operates a little differently. So we tend to be able to avoid certain things. You know what I mean? But I tell you this much. A North Park, imagine this, a North Park rally, a bus and rail worker protest. Nicole and
They're gonna call the police on us. The
Nicole
police
and-
will be called.
Nicole and Jan, I think we should make this happen, and then we can have
I
a
think
backup location of Kimball Terminal, which is right near there, in case
Yeah.
they chase us off. Because if the police come and ask us to leave, we will leave. It's not worth getting in a fight.
Going to jail for.
Yeah,
We will comply.
yeah. I mean, maybe in the future it would be different, but for now, you know, you two work it out, okay? And
Yeah, 'cause they definitely call. You know, if they call the police on Sister Cheryl, they definitely call the police on us.
yeah, it's okay. It's good.
It's okay.
Yeah. And some cops won't even bother. They'll be like, hell, what? They're not on your property. They're on public property, you know? So,
Right.
and they're not blocking anything. So they'll probably leave us alone. Let's talk about, I'm next on the agenda, if that's okay, y'all. I'm gonna move it on. Is that okay?
Mhm.
Local 308 had a protest at 95th Street in the morning and in the afternoon. Was anybody here there?
I was there briefly.
Okay, talk to us. Tell us.
I just watched. I actually kind of, and people don't agree with me, but I actually I thought I was like all for it. I was like, oh, okay, the union is out here. I kind of knew about it, but I didn't know how it was gonna go. So I was like, oh, this is cool. At least 308 is out here bringing safety to light, you know. And then I got the memo that the mayor would be there at a certain time and the police commissioner would be there at a certain time. I'm like, well, what are they coming for? They already know, right? Why the Union 308 is not reporting to them? Why are they coming together to hold a press conference? I thought this was a 308 rally, you know, for the
It was a rally for the mayor.
members. It was after I found out that, I was like, oh, see, here I go trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. Now I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and they slapped me in my face. This is all a big hoax to pull some of our eyes. You're not really, excuse me, thinking about safety. It was a joke.
Well, thank you. And you know, I'm on that contract action campaign committee. And
Did you get a shirt, Eric?
I'm on that committee that organized that, and nothing was brought up about the mayor and the police commissioner and all that crap. Nothing. And if it was, it would have been like, I know I would have spoke against it. But and it was funny because I volunteered to do a lunchtime session at 11:30, right? And I committed to it. I said, I'll do it. And they're like, oh, yeah, whatever. They just nodded their heads and stuff. And then they promoted the event, but they didn't promote the 11:30 session. So I sent a message to President Dixon and the officers. I'm like, why are you leaving this session out? I said I would do it. I can't do the morning because I'm asleep. I can't do the afternoon because I'm at work. You know, I'm on the committee. So anyways, I did it. So I showed up at 11:30 with my wife and son, and they were there to support CTA workers. But see, we criticized the mayor, right? So I recorded it and live streamed it and whatnot. So I'm sure that's not what they wanted. And they were all hiding upstairs, you know. So that proves again, everybody, that it's okay when the union officers have their little pro CTA rally or something, but we got to organize our own stuff too. And there's nothing wrong with that. Anybody else?
I'm sorry, Eric, just a question.
Yeah.
Did you get one of those nice shirts? You on the committee? Did you get a shirt?
I got my little Band-Aid shirt and I wore it. Yeah, I wore it.
Oh, great. Okay, because I was wondering at first. I didn't think that they gave you one. I just want to make sure they gave you one.
Yeah.
Okay,
They didn't want to. They didn't want to give it to me.
Oh, that's why I asked. I know that them shirts didn't come out to 308. I'm sure President did. Oh no. How about the financial recording secretary, treasurer? Maybe she bought them personally, and that's why she was only giving them out to certain people.
No. She personally spent our personal $3,000.
Great. That's great.
What was the cost? What was the cost of the shirts to
now you know now Andre, you know that will be in the profit and loss, you know. Figure out which section, but that's where it should be at.
They
Yes.
don't get profit and loss.
Yes, we
They
do.
don't?
Yeah, we don't give. We have to make an appointment to see it.
Oh, an appointment. Okay, well, Eric, kind of make an appointment and see what they put that cost with.
Okay.
Probably miscellaneous because that's exactly what it was.
My God, I hope not, because we budgeted $10,000 for this silly thing. Brother Charles,
That's interesting. That's a good thing. Found out where that money went and came from.
yeah, they spent $3,000 on the shirts, but we don't have enough for everybody. Let me give Brother
Oh,
Charles. Brother Charles got his hand up.
I'm sorry.
Come on, Brother Charles, talk to him.
Before we move on from the rally,
Yeah.
because the point of the rally was supposed to be to bring awareness to security for both the rail and the bus side. And I heard a lot of, yeah, we're gonna get into that, we're gonna help you guys, but I didn't hear anything of substance as far as what we can do. And obviously adding more cameras is not a deterrent. People are used to cameras now. All they do is wave at them as they commit the crime. So one of the things I proposed, both when I was trying to run for mayor in 2019 and also recently at the last 241 meeting, was that we add 225 full-time officers. Right now, the officers assigned to CTA are doing that on their overtime side. But if we do this as a pick, I guess it's trick for them, something they pick for 40 hours. So that's 225, 75 in each region without taking away the officers' overtime, because that's what transit detail is for them, is OT. But the officers get the 225 officers assigned to the CTA, 75 in the north, 75 in the central, 75 in the south. If they're assigned 40 hours a week there to be present, to make contact with the operators, not just get on the bus and not say anything, make contact with them, learn the bus operator's name, learn the rail operator's name, get familiar with the routing, get familiar with who's doing what on what day, get familiar with where the trouble spots are, what trouble times are, get familiar with where the homeless are continuously riding on the buses and trains. Why those things weren't brought up, especially by the people that what I consider union representation is business agents. They work for us.
Thank you. I like that, Chuck.
I got a question.
And I repeatedly call them all, you're my business agent. I don't work for you. You work for me.
Oh,
I got a question.
Yes. All right.
Anybody can answer this when I make the question. What is safety?
Oh, I don't even know, because I've been saw it plenty of times.
Did anybody hear me?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, my ask again. What is safety?
Hey, Chuck, what do you think about what's that question? You have a kind of answer about that? Or maybe you can't hear me. Is he muted?
We got 7 people. Nobody know what safety. Nobody can say nothing.
But what I'm trying to say is, we all can say, Dre, what we think safety is. We can give you the definition of safety.
No. I don't want the definition of safety. I want to know. We had a safety rally. They had the issue of safety rally for the CTA. So what is safety? I'm the member. I want to know what is safety.
So,
safety. What is safety to me?
Let me try
as a member.
Let me try to answer that the best I can.
Okay.
So I think what the intention of the rally should have been was to find a way to deter crime. You're not going to eliminate it, because you would have to be able to control people, and we know you can't do that. So what is our best deterrent for crime? Is what we have to figure out right now.
What about my safety as an employee that worked for the CTA? We have 12 people who died from coronavirus because of lack of safety, in my opinion. We have people who work at the CTA who get paid a minimum wage, and they have to go in the community, and they can't come out that environment because they don't make enough money. That's safety, in my opinion. And I'm the member. These are the members. So that's why I say what is safety? I mean, safety should be about us, our safety, not about arresting people. It should be about us. It's a big realm of safety. You got these people on this line right now who are complaining about being part-time for 8 years with no benefits. That is safety. They can't go to the dentist. That is safety. Am I awful on this thought, or help me out? Help me out, people.
Well, you spot on, but safety could be considered so many things.
That's
Like
right.
you can be able to go to work and come home without being harmed. You know, that's one of the biggest things they should address when we think of safety, not just as the things that come
Right.
along with it. And the CTA has a whole department set aside for safety.
So it seems like they want people to be tunnel vision, and they want the members to be tunnel vision on one particular realm, and they know the other realms, but they don't want to speak on it. That's why we, the members, should be the ones to speak on all the safety issues that we have to deal with as an employee of the CTA and a member of Local 241 and Local 308. Our
Well,
safety is in
also-
jeopardy.
Right. Well, also, you got to say this. Well, at least 308 got a D- for effort because they went out there. You didn't see 241, which is a bigger union, not a better, excuse me. That wasn't the right thing. A bigger union with more members, but you didn't see 241 out there talking about safety because, hey, I can tell you what the president think about safety, but that's another story. But
Well, I give them both for F.
well,
Because
no,
Chief
no,
had a
give him a
safety
D-.
rally a long time
308
ago,
got a three.
and he talked about
308
Kim Fox.
Wait,
And he
308
used
can
the
get a
CTA
D-
buses
because
to
at
get the members
least
there.
they put on the facade that
Well,
they cared about safety.
Okay.
Local 241 didn't show up.
Let's here we have two interesting points. Brother Charles gave us a clear option to address safety. All right. And his was based on the policing or the law enforcement aspect. All right. Brother Andre brought up safety in the context of an employee presence as a deterrent, right? So you have Brother Charles as the presenting the police deterrent as a deterrent, which has issues. Okay, there's going to be some drawbacks there because when they arrest people, they're gone because they got to fill out paperwork, and then when they arrest people, then people got records, and then maybe they'll go to jail, and then when they come out, will they be reformed?
After you.
Right, exactly. but then we have Brother Andre saying if we have more of an employee presence and those employees are gainfully employed, not living in poverty, there'll be more ability to go above and beyond of being alert on the job and making sure that everything is their partner's okay, and they'll be looking out for each other. And then the criminal element may go somewhere else. However, sometimes when we have had multiple workers, people who were deranged went after them anyways. We have other issues about that too. And I think Sister Kathy will give us some more insight as well, because she got her hand up. And I really think it's a great discussion. Go ahead, Kathy.
Yeah, right. And I'm sorry that I had to leave so quickly, and I'm going to have to leave again. But I just want to say about those police, I think it's bad and wrong and harmful to the membership if we focus on safety and say we need more police. That's what the mayor wants. That's what Dorval Carter, they will happily agree to that. And in the end, the police, they're not on our side. They're strike breakers. They're enforcers of racist terrorism. They're murderers. They don't treat people up here on the north side the same way they treat people on the south and the west side. And I think that's what we need to say. And I know a lot of people at work do support the police, and a lot of people at work hate poor people, and they hate the unemployed people, and they hate the mentally ill people, and they hate the alcoholics, and they hate the addicts. And I know I'm rambling now, but I think Andre's right. The focus has to be on jobs and full-time pay. And why are things not safe anymore in this country? Because of the lack of jobs. In the 50s and the 60s, it didn't used to be so terrible because there were more good jobs. The police were still terrible, but there was less crime because there was more good jobs. It's an issue we do have
Thank
to
you.
take up.
Thank you. And
And the police don't never, they don't stop crime. You know,
Right.
more police don't stop poverty, stop crime, and they just constantly increasing police as we go, and it's not, crime is not changing. It's just going. It's just getting more rampant. So the police ain't the solution at all.
okay, so two things we should know about. And Brother Charles, we are not, none of this debate is against you. We're really, I'm gonna mute all. There's a little noise going on. Brother Charles, just so you know, this is a debate. We're not against the people who are, objecting are not against you. We really are so glad you're here to bring this up. I certainly am. Two other facts that I want to share out there. Y'all can take it in however way you want. But there was a news article that came out. Sister Kathy posted it that 40% of this Chicago budget is towards the police. The other thing is, in 1979, the last strike that we had, the police did protect the scabs. They did protect the workers that operated the trains and the buses. I heard that one train car was just full of cops just to protect the operator and the conductor from being attacked by, from being beat up by the union members that were on strike. So, but Brother Charles, if you wanted to respond to this or counter, anybody else wants to respond or counter, bring up another idea. The main thing I want you all to look at this, though, is this is a microcosm of what we can be as a union in Chicago, as ATU Chicago, where we, the members, can debate issues back and forth and get all messy. And then we can then, as the members, vote and decide. And yeah, not everyone will be satisfied, but maybe we can work the minority opinion in to accommodate that opinion. That is a good thing of democracy as well. Brother Charles, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, well, let me, because I was actually listening, and I want everybody to know everything that's said here, I don't take personally. This is an exchange of ideas. So part of the idea with my initiative, the 225 cops, is not to, obviously, that's not going to overwhelm a system of 6,000 buses. It's just not. You talk about that 75 per region is what you're adding. So we're putting these officers on patrol. We're putting them at rail stations. We're putting some on the trains. We're putting some when you get on the bus, you ride the bus for a certain length of time. And this is just as a deterrent. Now, the things that I've witnessed since being in the supervisor pool, some of the things that I had to respond to could have been prevented with a mild police presence. Not saying that we need to put this in a military state, but the people were treated differently if they knew there was some type of repercussion. Adding an additional, I don't even know if it's even economically feasible to add additional personnel onto CTA buses besides the bus operator. Just for crowding issues and COVID reasons alone, we'll probably eliminate that idea. So you have the bus operator out there on the island. I can't speak for rail because I don't have any experience on the rail side. But the bus operator is out there on the island by himself or herself, 14, 15 miles at a time. And if they don't see anyone 8-hour shift and you would encounter somebody crazy, mile one, you manage to get them off, you encounter somebody belligerent who's not mad at you, but you're the easiest target. You're the easiest target to come up on. So I was just using that as a deterrent. And yes, we do need a police president. And yes, I understand that there are police officers that have done that job with dishonor. That part I understand. And I understand that there are an overwhelming majority of officers who do the job honorably, but will also protect those who have done the job dishonorably. those are separate issues from what we're fighting right now. What we're fighting for right now is a way for us to be able to do our jobs the safest way possible. It'll never be 100% safe because we're going to always deal with the public. We're going to always deal with a mixing pot of people and personalities. But what is the alternative? If we do nothing, because right now what the mayor done since Mayor Emanuel, when he eliminated, I think it was the number is close to 1,200 police officers from the force, a reduction of officers, a reduction of police presence. It is not a coincidence that shooting and crime and other things have gone up. It's not a coincidence that carjacking has gone up since the police have done fewer traffic stops. That's not a coincidence. Those are stated facts. Those are facts they don't put together openly, but if you just look at the evidence, those things go hand in hand with one another.
Thank you, brother. And it sounds like, you know, some key words that you emphasized. You talked about it, a mild presence. You talked about the not an overwhelming presence, and it sounds like you understand that. Yes, a militarized type of policing mentality does not necessarily work. And of course, you know, poverty is an issue. And even though we are just public transportation, we can ally with other unions and speak up on issues that don't directly relate to what we're doing, you know, dealing with homelessness, public health, jobs for everybody, etc. Sister Nicole got her hand up.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to ask about the percentage of police. So is the trans police just trans police, or the number of police that work for the CTA part-time, is that for rail and bus, or is it two separate entities here?
Brother Charles, I could answer that, but
I'm not quite sure I heard the question completely. Or was she asking was she asking about my idea about the policing being
No. I'm asking about the number of police assigned to the CTA. Now, is it a certain percentage for the bus and then it's a certain percent for the rail, or is that the total number assigned to the CTA for both systems?
As the way I understand it is for both. The transit detail is for both. They're supposed to share the responsibility of rail and bus, is the way I understand it to be.
it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you want to say something, Eric?
They're all working. It's OT. It's really OT. I think there's very few of them that pick mass transit detail.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick it either. I mean, I don't blame them. But yeah, I can see that kind of being a problem as well. I mean, I think like maybe a suggestion, and you know, there's no perfect answer for this, but maybe if they had like the same amount of people for the train they had and for the bus instead of just in its entirety, maybe that would help. I'm not sure, but just a thought.
Can I interject?
Well, you know what, Andre? Janice had her hand up first. Can you please hold your thought, please?
Okay.
And
Okay.
you'll be next, Andre.
Sure.
Okay. Janice.
At the safety protest this past week, President Dixon said that there were 150 officers assigned, and that was to bus and rail, 150. Now, CTA has, I believe it's 120 something stations. Now, when we have a morning, we have the AM, the afternoon, and overnight. 150. And I don't know how many for the bus, but we have a lot of bus lines. I know that too. And same thing, morning, afternoon, and night. So 150 is not enough officers to do the work that we're requesting. And yes, other things are spilling over. Mental issues, all of that is spilling over to CTA. So this is bigger than just CTA, and the mayor and our officials and the politicians need to look at implementing other sources, resources to help these people.
Yes, because we can't do it. We're the ones.
They're not qualified.
Even the police. The police are being being caretakers too, and you know,
Exactly.
it's we're the dumping ground for the rejected and the despised of society. And instead of trashing human beings, and I'm telling you, a lot of these homeless people that I meet that are self-medicating, they're highly intelligent,
Yes.
smarter than me, but they are just down and out. They're lost. A lot of them are dark-skinned Black men who, in this society, anyone who's dark-skinned has a harder time. You know, whether you call yourself African American or Latino or Asian, you're gonna catch more hell than a person with light skin. So when you have bad luck after bad luck after bad luck, guess where you're gonna end up living? On public transportation. You know. And then you
don't care about others because no one cares about you. Yeah. And that's a sad state that anybody should be in.
And it's a little digression, but there's this neat article in Labor Notes about stop ignoring our mental health. The article is really about, you know, that San Jose massacre, and when you read this article, you'll see things about what the killer said, and he was a coworker, and he was upset about working conditions, and it had gotten so bad to him mentally. He went to the union president with his gun and said, "What do you think about that?" And then when the union president said what he knew the coworker wanted to say, he decided not to shoot him right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I had my own personal meltdown this Wednesday, Eric, when I was texting you. I had a meltdown.
You want to record? You want me to pause it, Jen? Do you want me to pause it?
No, don't pause this. I didn't even know I was capable. I didn't know I was capable of having a meltdown like that. I had a meltdown. Oh. And so it's stressful when you're dealing with this day to day. It's stressful.
I'm sorry.
And that's what we need to talk about. We need to talk about our employees, our union members dealing with what we had to deal with. And, you know, the mayor not being responsible for what she had to deal with. She had to deal with the lack of police doing their job, the lack of carjacking. You know, these people that's doing the carjacking, let's look at who they are. They're young men, Black, you know, and they taking a anger out on Black people in general. So we can't do the policing, but we need to take care of what we have to deal with as members for our members, and we need to speak up on the things that's affecting our members directly. And the police is a helper, but we got a president that need to have a direct line. Both presidents and all officers they need to have a direct line with their members emotionally, and they have a disconnect. And that's what the problem is.
And they don't want it. Like I was at this Steward class. They don't want communication. They want obedience. It was made clear over and over and over again about how to protect each other as officers from the members. It was insanity. It just was so enraging to me. And the police the police job is really to protect property, transit authority property, you know, and in one way we are like property, but if we do this, it's got to be part of a comprehensive plan for full-time jobs for all, because I'm telling you, when we get these coworkers full-time jobs, they will have money where they can spend on their own children and send them to school and programs and summer camps that they can afford, where they'll stay out of trouble. They won't have to hang out on the street. You know what I mean?
These young men, if they can get a job, a full-time job at the CTA and making good money, these young men They wouldn't be if they can get a job anywhere. These young men wouldn't be doing
Yeah.
the things that they're doing.
And,
And this is
and as a
social
society,
issue problem.
yeah, and as a society, we have to provide those opportunities, those internships, all that stuff, farming, construction, art, teaching, computer programming, all that stuff is so important. And there's community centers in the areas where we live that can help make that happen, but it's got to be on a larger scale. Kathy's got her hand up.
Right. I just want to agree with what you said, Eric, about and Andre, about demanding more jobs and demanding public health centers and demanding things that can help the youth channel their lives into something productive. And unions used to do that kind of stuff, like in the 20s and the 30s. They talked more than just about their wages and benefits. They talked about what was happening in society. And I really think we're like in a collapse. It's a doggone free fall. Things are falling apart and people are falling apart and acting out violently against each other. And the last thing I want to say about the police is that there's been more than one instance that happened here in Chicago and in Indiana that I can recall right off it, and it's all over the country, where parents who have mentally ill children, and these are mostly Black and Latino parents who this happens to. I can't remember, I'm sure it does happen to white parents, but I just don't remember hearing about it as much. They call for help from the police. And I'm gonna swear, the motherfuckers come to people's houses and kill their children right in front of their faces when the people called for help. I hate the police. I hate the police, and I could never support calling for more police. Anyway, that's what the police do. They want to kill people, in my opinion. That's what they want to do.
Hey, Kathy, it's so important. I'm so glad that you made time to be a part of our group, because we got to have this kind of discussion, all of the topics, what everyone thinks. I think we're all kind of on a similar level, and that is things need to change, and it starts with us. I think we can move on. Is there anyone that wanted to say anything else? I just wanted to try to wrap up the meeting. Great. Okay. Finally, not finally, but close. Spoke with a coworker. I was hoping he could be on it. Maybe you spoke with brother Tony, but he was gonna share an idea with us. I thought it was really good, and but I hate to bring it up because it's his, and I'm not sure I can give it justice. But basically, it is he would like us, because our union leadership doesn't care about full-time jobs for all. And they said it, you're not going to get full-time jobs for all. They said it to us in the Steward meeting. It was so disgusting. It was so disgusting. I'm like, no wonder people are just not paying dues anymore, because all you do is say no to everything that is right. Basically, brother Tony he's working on an idea of collecting some money so that we can do an advertising campaign before the contract comes out, part of a vote no type of campaign, demanding full-time jobs and explaining to the public why we need full-time jobs. I can't give you any more details about it. This is kind of like his project, but I thought it was really good. And anyone have anything they wanted to add to that?
I got something, Eric.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Well, I think that's a great idea. I really think that's a great idea, and we need to get Brother Tony on the meeting so we can get moving with those ideas, because it's going to be time for these elections to come up, and we need to get out to the members and no on the contract until we get a contract understanding.
Yeah.
We need to take our contract back. We need to take control of it. It's our vote that controls the contract. You're not going to throw money at us. You're going to give us a full contract. So, hey, I'm willing to invest in that. I'm willing to seek out some sponsors. I'm all in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Excellent. And by the way, everybody, ChicagoTransitWorker.com, we have the workers contract on there. Push that baby, read it, check it out. It's good stuff. I'm telling you, it is good stuff. We are simplifying the language. We don't have all the side agreements, dealing with too many specific classifications at this time, but it is the collective bargaining agreement, the 100 and something pages. It is great stuff. Please go through it. Please participate in making it better. It's a living document. It's idealistic. We will never get anything in this contract without an organized fight of persistent, escalating action. But it's there. So whenever people say, "Oh, well, what are you guys doing to solve any problems? All you do is complain." Tell them, we just wrote our own contract, sucker. What about you? Because this is our contract, everybody. Justice Coalition members, this is ours. I'm an editor, but this is ours. This is the members and the Justice Coalition's making. My name is not on this thing at all. You will not find Eric Basir nor Boogeyman, nothing. Okay, this is the Justice Coalition. This is us. So read it, share it, participate in it. And we have one last thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, September 11th at 10 a.m. Local 241 office. If you can be there, it's a Saturday at 10 a.m. Local 241 office, September 11th, a horrible day in history. If you can be there, there's a contract update meeting. Even if you're in local 308, show up. It's your union. ATU is your union. Local 241 is your sister local. You can be there. We plan to be there, Justice Coalition organizers, okay? Let's find out what they're talking about, okay? And then share with the members. Nicole, go ahead.
Oh yeah, could you take me off of, I don't want this to be heard. Could you, it's just gonna be a second. I just don't want.
Recording is resumed, and real quick, still wearing the bandages if you want to show solidarity with coworkers who've been assaulted, but also it symbolizes solidarity for being assaulted without a contract, without a good contract. We have unofficial local 308 meeting report in the agenda. We have a contract petition. We got the hour of power poll. It's starting to look like it's either going to be Midway or Harlem and Lake. But we also have another protest that some of the organizers are working on too. And that's about it. Any final questions, any comments, and then we'll just wrap it up. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody.
Wait, I got one thing to say, Eric. I'm sorry, I was
ahead.
trying to unmute. Well, these meetings weekly are getting very good. I'm loving them. And I just want to know, Eric, when is the next one? Is it next week?
I'm going to try to do that. I just have to confirm. I volunteer at a railroad museum. I just got to confirm with someone if they're going to be there.
Okay. Well, whenever you can, I think that these meetings are becoming more meaningful and helpful, especially to me. I don't know about anybody else, but these meetings are getting very good. They're getting good. These meetings are getting better and better every time we have.
Check keep up with your email. Keep up with your email, okay? Because that's when the announcement will come, but also we'll be posting. So probably next week. It looks like next week, okay? Most likely.
Okay, but if not, I'm really enjoying them. I just have to share that comment.
It's great. You make it happen. Y'all make the meetings work.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's just me talking about union history and organizing. Okay. Good night, everybody. Take care. Thanks for joining us.
Be safe. Have a good week, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.